Instagram Live. All right, I'm super stoked. I'm going to have Angela on here. So instead of doing these podcasts that I've been doing for the past 3 weeks, really honing down during this quarantine, I thought to myself, why not do an Instagram Live and I'll record the video and then I'll just pull that audio and make it a podcast. So that's what I'm doing here. Kylie.
What's up?
What's poppin'?
What's good, dude? Nice hair.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yes, I don't want to waste your time. I really want to get into this.
Yeah.
So everyone that's watching, Angela and I, we met through work with her prior job at Grip Boxing, and I wanted to come on here and have her talk about her current state with the corona and how tell your story, one, because I think it's a great story. You being a part of American Ninja Warrior, you having injuries, you battling injuries. You took one position, turned it into something else. You created this online community for yourself. And I think so many people are dealing with that right now. Like in the fitness industry, how do they evolve towards today? And the focus being, how do I turn my business of seeing all these people day to day to online? And I've been watching you since day one. We've been talking since that day.
Yeah.
I would say, extremely going out of your comfort zone of what it meant to be vulnerable and create communication with people that you've never met before. So you've always had that position, of course, especially being in the television world, I guess, with the American Ninja Warrior, but further extending that towards how do you connect with them and grow with them to help them. So I want to start off, with the podcast. Just simply, I would love for people to get to know you and who you are on your journey of what you do today.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. So, for those who know me on Rogers, my name's Angela Gargano. I'm a Ninja Warrior. I've been on it 3 times. I've also been Miss Fitness America, which is like a fitness competition thing. I also owned my own gym, and I also used to be a scientist. So I've definitely been through a road. So for those of you who are on the road right now and might think you know exactly what you want to do, it's okay if you shift from where you were before. I've shifted a couple of different times, honestly, until I figured out what I really wanted to do. I'm trying to think of where to start. I guess I could start in maybe college. So I went to school for biological chemistry in Rhode Island, which was great. I loved doing chemistry. I was making all sorts of compounds for prostate cancer, and I would actually be making them. So I felt like Breaking Bad style, like making the compounds. And then while I was there, I figured, the next step is, once I graduated, I should, obviously be, get my PhD, because that's what everyone does, right?
Right.
So I worked my butt off, was working at Brown and doing all sorts of stuff, and kept applying for these PhD programs, and I wasn't getting in at all. And I was super frustrated. I'm like, my grades are pretty good. My SAT and my GRE scores weren't that great, but what the hell? So it kind of really discouraged me. But I think for a reason, the universe was telling me, no, that's not where you belong. And I kind of felt that the whole time I was doing science. Yes, I was good at it. Yes, I was making good money, but I felt like I needed more.
Right.
And I was itching for some kind of active something. I used to do gymnastics in college. So I was itching to flip around or something, or be on stage.
Right.
So I decided to, switch gears, and I was like, all right, I'm going to start doing fitness competitions, start doing that. And then, started training, and the people around me started being like, oh, you're getting in such good shape. You're doing so great. What can you teach me? I'm like, absolutely. What can I help you with? Just helping them with their food. They were going on runs with me. It was really amazing to see. And I realized how much I loved that. So what I did was I quit my high paying job, and I decided that, I wanted to go on the road for fitness. I think what I want to tell people before I tell you to go quit your job for what you love is I was pretty smart about it. I saved up 4 months of rent. You want to make sure that you have at least a set amount of rent put aside so that you can get creative and really pursue whatever your dream is, right? So as much as like I didn't like doing chemistry is great because it gave me that money to put aside and say, hey, for 4 months here, I'm going to get creative and I'm going to figure out what I want to actually do and, really, just take the chance because why not? I was young, like why not? I think I was like 23 at the time when I decided to just say no more to biochem. So I started boot camp classes at a gymnastics gym. I was teaching all the parents because all the parents wanted to be strong too, just like the kids. And that really evolved. And then all of a sudden I got the opportunity to open my own gym. So I opened my own gym. It's crazy. It's like just kind of like looped one next to the other. But again, these different steps are pretty necessary for all this. But then like really changed for me, right? I had the gym and I thought that's what I wanted. I thought that was my end all be all. And I realized how if you own a gym, you are the accountant, you're the janitor. Yes, you get to hang out with the people, but in the back of your mind, a lot of times you're really stressed out. Like you're trying to make ends meet. I mean, you don't make a lot of money when you own a gym at first, especially like you're definitely losing money no matter like, even if you have a ton of clients, you are losing money. So I was definitely really stressed out about it. And, I was also competing on American Ninja Warrior at the time and I went up tearing my ACL, which sucked. So I tore my ACL. But the ACL
did that happen during the show?
Yeah, so if you watch American Ninja Warrior season 11, you'll see me tear my ACL, and you'll see that season 11 was my comeback. So like season 10 I tore it, season 11 they showed me tearing my ACL, and then they also showed me coming back and just like crushing it, which was like super inspiring for everyone to see because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to come back and crush it. But season 10 was just like this pivotal moment for me that I was, again, itching. I wanted to be on camera. I knew I wanted to do all this stuff, but I was like, no, I own this gym. I got to stay here, right, and do this. But when I realized that, you really don't know how long you're going to have your body. You don't know if you're going to get, like, a knee injury. You don't know if you're going to get a car accident. Like, you don't know when something's going to happen. So if you're itching to do something, you better do it now because you don't know what tomorrow. We don't know, like, especially with this stuff going on now. Like, who would have guessed that would have happened, right? Might as well take your chances, like, while you can before things happen. So I shut down the gym, and this is when you met me, Roger. I dropped everything and moved to the city with the same thing, very smart. I tried to make sure that I sold everything. I sold everything in my gym. I had a decent amount of money. I stayed at my dad's house, which was free. Like, I slept on couches I think you remember me sleeping on everyone's couches. Sleeping on couches, training in. I mean, you would train in too. I mean, I would train in 2 hours in, 2 hours out of the city every day, and with no plan. And the plan when I moved to the city was to just meet people, to understand the community, and not just the community for like the fitness people who are high up there, but the people, like everybody, like the real people.
No, I would arguably. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I would arguably say that New York City's, if not a trendsetter for fitness, it's on a high pedestal on what is being done and how things are being done. Exactly. Through the boutique fitness space to the individual. I think it has it all in that realm. But I think the greatest takeaway from everything you just told everyone was that you took a chance on yourself. And yet, in a way, it's funny because it's a risk, but in a way you took a calculated risk.
Yes.
Where you told yourself, I needed to do X, Y, and Z. And you weren't just going into the city to find work. Like, you had clients that were paying you. You were a part of a boutique fitness studio that was paying you as well. So it wasn't like you were just thinking to yourself, I'm going to, Cinderella story, I'm going to be in the big city, I'm going to make it. When I first moved, I literally had no job though. I think I had no job for probably a good 4 months. Again, but I had the money saved up and I wasn't spending a lot of money because I was living at my dad's, and it was pretty smart. And during that time, I was building up my online business. I was taking a class on how to build online businesses. It's very important, to learn from the best of the best. And just like I was going to city to learn from the best, I was also going online and learning from the best business people how to create a business. How did you find those people online?
So there's obviously so many people now online who say like, oh, I'm going to help you build your online business, blah, blah, blah. And I mean,
Right.
like, honestly, a lot of it is bullshit. Like a lot of it is,
So
unfortunately.
did you face like the whole scamming issue where you gave money to X people and then you didn't see the return? Is that why you're saying that, or
No,
like
I've
what?
just seen other people do that.
Okay.
I was really smart. I did my research. I made sure, and I also made sure that whoever I was going to be doing this program with, I really respected and that I felt good with. It's just like having a personal trainer. It's like, if you don't feel good with your personal trainer, they could be an amazing personal trainer, but you just like don't click, like,
Yeah.
then you got to make sure you go to somebody else
What
who's
are
good
some
at it.
things that you looked at to make that decision?
So to make that decision, well, first of all, I felt with the vibe. For this particular one, like we did a one-on-one call at the beginning. So like she talked about me, and you could tell she really cared about, you know, me improving my business and telling me things that I could do. Whereas other people were spitting too much about what they've done and their money and da da da. And I'm like, all right, I get it, congratulations, but like you're supposed to be helping me. And
Right.
that's exactly same thing with a personal trainer. Same thing. If your trainer's telling you, well, I've done this, this, and this, like that's great, personal trainer. But like, what can you do for me? How can you help me with my journey?
Right.
So that's what I looked for. I looked for them really. I also looked for. This is another thing you should do too. I reached out to multiple people who took the program.
Okay.
So yeah, so you could see on their page, like took the program, the people. I messaged like 4 or 5 people. Hey, how did you like the program? Did you feel like it was well worth your
So in
money?
a way, you did your own like reviews. You find out, you know, they're pushing this product or service, and you're like, all right, this is great. I like the person, and then
Yeah.
you saw the people that have gone through the program, and then that's how you came to that decision.
Absolutely. And it was a great thing for me to do because obviously I didn't have a job. So I had the time to sit down and actually, you know, read the stuff, figure out how to help people. And what I loved about, you know, this program in particular, and a lot of the programs are like this, again, it was about the people, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
they were saying to me, are you for your ideal client, because everyone has like their ideal client of who they want to work with, are you asking them the questions they want to learn, or are you spitting all this stuff that they don't really care about? So it made me really sit back and ask everybody, and I still do it now. You see me do it all the time. What do you need? What do you need help with? How can I help you? In what ways are you having issues? Because again, I may think I know, but I'm not in your shoes. I don't know. But I can help once I figure out what the issue is, and probably help from my experience to help you, you know, figure out X, Y, and Z. So definitely a journey there. So I had that online program, which is great. So that actually got that. It was called Warrior Strong. I actually don't do it anymore. But it's called Warrior Strong program. It's 90 days. I was doing it with my clients, people I found online. I think I got like 6 people in it, and we're still all close. Like that's how good the program was. We were just like all friends, and like I met a bunch of them that came to the city actually from Germany and from
Yeah. Do you mind
Wisconsin.
discussing kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
I want to give as much value to
Yeah.
people listening to this who are in the fitness space and are having that shift of how can I go onto online and like the things that I've done. So what was the foundational like 1 to 10 steps of going through that and building those 6 people, you know, and I want to touch on that too, is like people are like, oh, it's only 6 people. And be like, no, these are 6 paid clients that are looking up to you to get their goals where they want to be and they've never been before. So I would love for you to touch on that, like even if it's resources or things that, you know, we are going through that could help them create this online community.
Yeah, so very important. The first thing is to do is first of all, you want to figure out what you want your ideal client to be. Who are you trying to serve? If you're trying to serve everybody, you're going to help nobody. Who are you trying to actually serve? I had to sit down and write out who my ideal client was and who I ultimately feel excited to work with, right? What kind of people? For me, it was people who are, you know, maybe entrepreneurs or moms, and they don't have a lot of time for themselves from the age of this. I mean, you know, literally I sat down and wrote the specifics out of what clients have I worked with before in person that I really love to work with, and where can I find those online? Where can I, you know, chat with people like that? So that's number one. You got to identify your ideal client, and you may not understand it at first. It may take you a little while to understand what you really want. But once you understand that, it's really helpful, because once you understand your ideal client, you figure out their issues, like we were just saying, right? Once you figure out their issues, everything you chat about on your social media is about how to fix them. Everything. And people always get like, okay, well, Angela, you have all these followers now, so you're getting a lot of clients. Okay, yes, I do now. But when I first started off a year ago, I only had 10,000 clients. 10,000 followers. I just gotten that mark, first of all. I like remember like being in a bar and being so pumped that one other person liked my page. I'm like, 10K, yes, I can swipe up. But it doesn't matter how many followers you have, right? it doesn't matter how many likes you have, or it doesn't matter any of that stuff, because if you can impact that one person that you're looking for in your posts, then you win, right? Then you win. So I stopped worrying about how many likes I'm gonna get, things like that. No, I don't care, and I still don't care. I don't care how many people like my things. How many people can I impact that I actually want to impact, that are gonna be like a good client, or that I can help change their lives? When I focus on that, clients came in with no problem,
I
because
love
it's
that. I love
genuine.
that. I love that. And
Genuine.
so in review one, I think that's great that you, there was a term that I overheard. I think it was with Jessica Glazier. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm
Oh, and
sure.
my friend Jeffrey's on here. Jeffrey, I love him. He's the best. Sorry.
Um, she spoke about having the ideal quote unquote like avatar or client. So that's
Yeah.
what you figured out, what you wanted to work with. So you
Hi,
narrowed
please.
that down. You narrowed that down. And then the second thing was you created a game plan. And then and I think the biggest part is that how do you serve them? It's not about you.
It's not about
It's
you.
not about the followers. It's not about the likes. But I don't want people to get confused, because those things, in my opinion, create community, right? Like having a following means that people are looking up to you and what you're doing, right? And
Yeah.
so it's like, it's not chasing the number, but it's more so chasing the value in it. Like the
Absolutely.
people that are being built through what you're doing to serve them, right?
You want valuable people. I mean, before I saw so many people who are buying followers, and it's like, don't do that. I mean, I know you want the number and you want the swipe up, but it's not worth it. It's more worth it to have 3K really, really amazing people, like you said, in a community who are really excited for you, than to
Yeah.
have freaking 40K. I mean, I literally look at some people's things right now, and they have like 100K followers, and you look at their engagement and what they're actually, no one's interacting, and no one's,
Yeah.
it's not going to help them with their business. I mean, again, that may not be what they want, but like, it's not going to help get people, you know. And what I also want people to realize too is, when I moved to the city, I looked up to a ton of people. Obviously, I was literally on my phone in Rhode Island, so like, oh, I want to meet this person, who I've met everybody. What's interesting is a lot of people that I thought had it all together because they had 500K followers, they don't have anything together. They don't have their ideal client together. They don't have a good game plan. And it's interesting now, because me and Jess talk about it, because me and Jess have been in this for a long time together. Her and I have been through the whole adventure together. And we were just cracking up on the phone the other day, because we're like, we thought we like didn't know anything, and like now we're like, oh, actually we know a little bit more than we thought we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some resources that people could use that you recommend, that has helped you with your online business?
Resources. Again, I mean, the coach was like,
That was so let's start off the baseline. Number one was find a coach or a mentor of someone you look up to, right?
Find a coach or mentor, figure out your ideal client, start serving the hell out of them. Another great thing to do is to create a freemium, which I have my freemium on my
What is
page
that?
right now. A freemium. So you want to create something that's like a giveaway. That you, like right now, to collect people's emails, I have a freemium in my page. It's a free pull-up guide.
Okay.
But let me tell you something about the free, whatever you give, you better give value. Don't give a bunch of shit. Like, give value. So that guide that people get, it is showing them my heart and soul into, let me help you get started on your pull-up, because I actually do give a shit about you. So very important that you do that you have some kind of freemium, because what that does is people will gain your trust. Again, Jess always talks about, like, as dating, you got to date them first before you just like start to pitch stuff to buy. So you have to make sure they, you know, nourish them. So you give them a free guide and you chat with them. I am very personable with my client, with everybody on my page. I'm always messaging people back. So you start your freemium. After your freemium, you can then pitch something. Maybe you can pitch a, you know, $40 program. Maybe you can pitch something, but showing that, you know, you went from, hey, here's something that I want to give you to help you, and here, I can help you more for this. So I think creating your freemium is very important. You guys should all have, everyone should have that. You need to collect emails. You just need to. Like, if Instagram's gone tomorrow, what are you going to have? You got to collect emails. You got to collect the community. Facebook group, if you can create a Facebook group and create that community like you were saying there, amazing. I have one called Strong Feels Good. So it's like a bunch of people in there, and I constantly give them a bunch of stuff, or they're always the first one to know about anything that's coming out, because I want them to know they're my people, right? Like, they're my people. Like, I want to make sure they know what to do. So I would do that. I'm trying to think of any other resources. Again, the coaching really helps. You should have a really good lawyer. Especially with this kind of stuff, you need to make sure that you have liability forms written out. You need to make sure that you have, and everything you're doing right now, that freemium has a liability form. Make sure there's a liability form in there. You need to have contracts figured out. If you're going to work with other people, let's say, you need to have a contract, even if they're friends. Just make sure there's contracts written out. So you need to have a good lawyer. You want to have a good accountant. Look, I'm lucky. I have a friend who helps me, a good accountant, to make sure you're keeping your stuff all squared away, and just legal with taxes and stuff like that. I'm seeing a lot of people do stuff on Venmo right now, which is great, I guess, but you've got to keep track of that because they're going to come after you. So if I were you, I wouldn't do Venmo. Do it through Stripe. Take the freaking fee. It's like a 20, I don't know, it's not even 20%. Take the fee.
It's a couple percentage. Yeah. So you're saying, just based off your past experiences, is don't play the short game now. Think long term. How can you coordinate yourself? Because Uncle Sam's going to come knocking. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think something like I personally learned is that through time, like the saying of, I'll learn as I go, is great. But if you have someone like yourself, and whoever's listening to this has never started an online business, and they're like, hey, I'm not there yet, be like, no, listen to what she's saying. Because when you have one or two people, you'll have everything in place. When you hit the 100-person mark, it's even easier. So it's like a system that's just flowing. So we went through kind of like the basis that I love that you call it the freemium.
Premium. Yeah, they're premiums.
Okay, I love that. And so I'm just curious, why did you decide to make your freemium of how to do a pull-up? Is that because that's something that you believe in, or is that like why out of everything?
Yeah, so I started without my niche. What I was saying, I wanted to work with women, blah blah blah. My niche is even smaller now. I only teach people how to do pull-ups. That's what I do for a living now. So my whole online program is how to teach pull-ups in 30 days. It's one of the only, I'm pretty sure it's the only one, but I never want to say that. It's the only interactive pull-up program you can do online, and it's 30 days. I take 30 people at a time, and I really, it's all you do. Like, you figure out how to get your pull-up in the 30 days. So for me, it makes sense, because if you're trying to get a pull-up, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You want a free guide, right? You want a free guide, then you're gonna want to go into my program. Once you get my program, I take care of you. Like, I literally, you're so taken care of when you're in there for my 30 days. And then after that, I have like an add-on. They can continue on. They can go to this program. But yeah, I did pull-ups because pull-ups that's my niche. And the reason I did that was because I've taught like at least 5 or 6 women how to do pull-ups who went from nothing. And it brought me so much freaking joy to see how confident they got from it, to see, them light up. I felt like I lit up when I did that. And that's when I knew right there, that's my niche. I'm like, right. I light up when I do this. It's not a job. I love teaching them how to get their pull-up. I love it. I never go on like, I got to teach them. I always am so freaking excited to teach them. So that's why my program is pull-ups. My freemium is for pull-ups. For most of you right now doing fitness, obviously I would do a body weight. I would do how to like a home body weight program.
Yeah, so I think that's great. I want, if you were starting your online business right now during this Corona pandemic, and there's people that have clients that are doing face-to-face, and they're, obviously there's a massive shortage with that. Either their gym's closed, or they're doing, becoming more, adapting. You see these virtual classes. What would you do right now to start if they had, their ground zero?
Yeah, so if you just only had clients right now, the first thing I would do for sure would be to make a freemium to collect emails on some kind of, a lot of these people, I know personal trainers very well, and they're good people, and they really do care about you. So it's like, write something to really help people who are literally lost because they don't have their gym anymore. Like, oh shit, nobody has their gym anymore. That's who you're going to attract right now. Make a little guide for that, and a really well done one. Just do it at your house, film it on your iPhone, put it together, and send it out to those people. And then I would also be doing, obviously, the live workouts are great. It's a great way to connect. But then as you do the live workouts, create some Zoom workouts, because when you create some Zoom workouts, you actually get to see, I love doing the Zoom workouts the other day. I got to see the people, help them, make sure they're actually getting their workouts in the right way. So then I would do the Zoom workouts for sure. And also tell people that I do FaceTime training. I only train like 2 people, like personal training. Everything else is group or online. But they're like, you want to FaceTime? So I FaceTime them. We worked out with them on the phone. And if anything, what's crazy for people right now to probably hear, I'm actually making more money now than I was before. Because I'm not running around at all in the city. I'm doing what I wanted to do, was just to stay online and to help people more. So I'm actually making more money now than I was when we were, running around the city.
I love that.
And when I was working at Grit, I'm making more money there. It's just, and I feel
but
like
I think the biggest thing, and I want people to understand it, that makes me so happy to hear, because it sounds like you're in such a great place with serving the people you want. You found that ideal client and you're literally talking to them every single day. And it's so evident that you've created a community that are so like-minded. Like I see it through your stories every single day.
Yeah.
Either you're talking to them or you'll screenshot like responses and you'll go back and forth with, you know, your own community. And I think that's great. So you've built your online community, right? And it's always like that's growing. There's so many people on here. I gotta give quick shout outs before they jump
I know,
off.
like
I'm trying to catch up. Case, Frank. Oh my God, so many people. This is awesome. So
I have 2 more nuggets. I think you guys everyone on here should hear. 2 more nuggets. Okay, so you were just saying how you can tell how I'm like interacting with people. It's called social media. You need to be social. Do not just throw your freaking program up there and just expect people to buy it. You need to be personable. You need to talk to these people, and you can't just do it for a day. You have to do it every day. I give myself at least an hour every single day. I know it sounds crazy, but I reach out to people. I message them, how you doing, how you hanging? Like, I just do. You need to be social. And whatever program you are advertising, you're trying to get into, don't just advertise it for one day and think everybody saw it. No, probably assume that nobody saw it, which is why when you go on my page, you see that I'm constantly promoting my program, because people didn't see it. Like, they're not sitting there just watching your thing. So you need to constantly push whatever you want people are like sick of it. They're like, oh, Angela, I can tell you do pull-up program. I'm like, good. I'm glad. That's what I want you to be sick of it. So yeah, be social and can constantly put your shit out there every fucking day.
How did you target your audience? Did you get right into like paid ads, or was it more so you just did like personal text messaging? So I'm just curious of, again, the process behind the growth behind it. How you said you went from a couple to online, and now God is, you know, it's been blessing. You're making more money today than when you were running around. So how did you grow that? What did you do?
So I've never used a paid ad in my life. I just had, first of all, I just didn't need to. Also, paid ads are very hard to work with. So if you do paid ads, you have to work with a company right now, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money. A lot of people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, and they're expecting their return is from getting lots of volume. Okay. Yeah. Whereas I'm opposite. I don't really want tons of volume. I just want a ton of quality people coming in. So I'm not looking for like people $30 like signups. Like, my program's more expensive than that. So we're looking for a little bit more fine-tuned people. So I've never used an ad in my life. What was the other question? Like how it grew?
Like, yeah, how did you grow? So like anyone listening to this is like, oh, well, no shit, she has a big following. So obviously it's easy to market to people, but she had the following. But you touched on, it was like this time last year, you had less than 10K and you had been doing online already. So how did that growth come from? What did you do if you haven't done any paid advertising?
So a few different things that I've done is, first of all, I came up with a schedule for my Instagram. If you notice, it's a little off lately. Every Wednesday and Saturday, I always do an IGTV. Always do. And I made it a series, so people are getting excited. People will find you through that. People really like IGTVs. Educational ones, again, giving value. How I'm helping you. I'm serving the client that I want to serve. So being very consistent. So first it was Wednesday that, and then Monday and Fridays I always do some kind of carousel workout, which is like different types of workouts. Again, showing value, asking questions, whatever. So that's number one. Number two, collabs. I'm very fortunate because I was able to connect with Women's Health. I did Women's Health, Oxygen, Pop Sugar. I get tons of followings from those people coming in from there. But again, that took me a while to get. People, like, I had to create relationships with these companies. It didn't just come to me. That's one thing you need to realize. This is not going to just come to you. No one's just going to knock on your doorstep. They're not going to be like, hey, can you do a workout for me? No, you got to establish a relationship, do stuff with them. I mean,
how did you reach out to them, via Instagram, or was it you were showing up at the office?
So funny story. So with Women's Health, I actually hosted a workout for them. I got asked to do a workout for the company one day. So I hosted it. And then after I hosted it, I became best friends with the editor. And like, this is where I want you all to realize this too. Like, friends, like me and her are like, I train her, yes, a couple times a week, but I feel so close to her. Like, you create a real relationship. You're not creating a relationship because you want something. You're creating a relationship because you genuinely care. And I helped her get her first pull-up. So it all just kind of went hand in hand.
I think I saw that video. I'm pretty sure she posted about that, right? Like, that was an article within itself. I think I saw that.
Yes, she's incredible. I train her all the time. I'm totally obsessed with her. Just a great person to work with. I just love her energy. But yeah, no, but this is all relationships that I had to go to. For Dr. Jordan's Metzels, I went on his thing today. The reason that happened is because I went to his free workouts, 4 or 5 of them this year. And every time I went up to him, hey, how's it going? Like, how can I help you? You know, you gotta do those things. You can't expect people to give you things. And what I would not do, I would not reach out to these companies and be like, hey, can you do this, this, and this for me? Absolutely not. It's the same thing just like you're doing with your client. You have to build a relationship with them first. You can't just ask for things and it comes off bad. Like, a lot of trainers were actually coming to me, which I don't mind, but they were like, can you hook me up with getting on to Women's Health? And in my head, I'm like, do you want to know how long it took me to get something like this? Like, 2 years, 2 fucking years of busting my ass and establishing a relationship. It didn't just happen. So it's like, you gotta, yeah. It's
yeah, I think that the biggest thing is growing a rapport. As you said, it's like similar to dating, right?
Yeah.
You meet someone on the first date, you're not like, hey, let's get away and fly across the country somewhere for 2 weeks. You're like, what? What are you talking about? We just met.
I don't know you.
Yeah. Like,
marry me now.
yeah, exactly. I think it was a great thing you reminded me. One of my clients, and she's really just a mentor of mine. I'm so lucky to have her in my life, Cindy Eckert. And she sold her company for $1 billion. She created the female Viagra, just super savage.
Amazing.
And we sat down once for dinner, and I was talking about like relationship building and what does she look for when she hires people. And she said the main thing was like, crazy enough, I think to myself when I meet them in the meeting, can I get a beer with them?
Yeah.
You know, can I, you know, anyone could talk, anyone could sell themselves, but the idea is how about after? You know, can I sit down with them and see them as who they are as a real person? You know, these people could put a facade up, a stage for that moment, that 30-minute window or the hour that you're with them.
Absolutely.
But the idea is like, you know, that everything is moved to the side and you being who you are. And so you've done that with growing your community and you've seen the growth. What would you say, how did you go about like pricing? Like someone like myself in the creative field, that's something that people reach out to me all the time. Like, dude, how do you price out these things? Like, how do you come to that number that justifies your worth? How did you go about that?
It's really, so for me, that was the hardest part, is figuring out my worth in general, because I care about the people so much that I feel bad sometimes. I was feeling bad for charging them, but I also know this is my career, so I have to. So for a while, I was feeling super bad, and then I was like, no, I have to justify.
What did you? How did you? I went through that, and I still kind of go through that. Truthfully, you work with people so closely, and you care about them, and then you tell them the number, and you're like,
I can't.
It's like a cringy feeling.
No, you have to be really confident. I mean, for me, I was able to help justify my worth a little bit more. I have somebody who, you know Louise. I work with Louise. She was able to sit down with me and be like, look at all the stuff you've done. Look at your credentials. Look at your knowledge. You're paying me because you're paying me for my knowledge. You're paying me because I'm going to give a shit again, like this, like extra, like care and stuff like that. So it took me a while to figure out my pricing, and I definitely had to I played with it until I figured out what I felt. First of all, I had to feel good about asking for that. So if you feel like shit, then it's not going to work. If you're itching for money and you're begging people for money, they're never going to buy from you. That's just like unattractive. So
I feel like you're just naming like the perfect dating partner. You know, you're like, you're itching for money. It's unattractive. And I think I want people to really think about this. Is like, it's so true. The business transaction is so much further than that. Like, it's this give and take is one thing, but it's like the rapport that you grow with them that further extends it. But continue.
Absolutely, yeah. So then I started mapping out certain things, like what do I feel like I'm worth per an hour? And if I actually mapped out what I'm worth for an hour, it's a lot of money. And because I'm going to give you my all in that hour. I'm not half-assing. I'm not just giving you this. I'm literally going to make sure. So when I had to price out my pull-up program, I had a really hard time doing it because I wanted to do it cheaper. And then I was like, no, I wrote out all the pieces of what I was giving them and the value next to it, the real value. And then I wrote out what I was going to charge. And that made me feel better. And I also even put that on the PDF they get. It says, this is worth this much. This is worth this much. I want them to see that I am giving them a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely hard. Also hard with brand partnerships. I mean, that's why I'm lucky to have a manager, someone who helps me with that. There was a deal that came in that I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. And when I talked to Louise, she was like, oh no. She's like, that's not enough. And I was like, what? what do you mean that's not enough? And she went back and she went back in doubling it, and she wrote why. And once she wrote out my worth and like, you're worth this, I'm like, holy shit. And she's right. It's from the knowledge. It's from the years of experience. It's from the fact that I went from a biochem to opening my own gym to, I've done all these things. That experience is what you're paying for. So you have to be confident in it, and you have to feel good about it though. If you feel like shit about charging a certain amount, they're probably not going to buy it because you feel shitty too. So you have to find that middle ground. And then after a while, it's going to just take off. You're not even going to have to worry about it anymore. Like now I don't even have issues. People don't question it. It's just, oh, we get what your worth is. It takes a while though. So just know that's true. I mean, again, you feel the same way, especially when we're getting into more expensive programs and stuff like that.
So do you mind sharing with the people, I'm just curious now, what was the number that you questioned and then you ended with?
For which one? For pull-ups or for?
Yeah, the pull-ups.
Okay, so for pull-ups, it was so funny. At first, I was like, all right, I'm going to charge like $80 for the program, which is crazy. That's not a lot or whatever. And then I settled on
$80 would give you what?
Oh, ton. So you get 30 days. It's literally, it's not like, it's not, my program's not like an ebook. It's like I'm coaching you for 30 days. You're on an app. I'm constantly talking to you. There's weekly calls. There's guest calls. I'm constantly messaging you guys. I mean, the people who have been in my program know that. I'm literally on them every single day for those 30 days. Think about how much time that is. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I literally have an Excel sheet that I map out. Did I check in on this person? I make sure they're literally checked in on every week, at least 2 or 3 times.
And this is an Excel sheet that you've created, or is this a program that you've used?
So I created my own Excel sheet. It has like my client's name. It has their Instagram, so I could always message them in there if I want to. I still like to send video messages a lot. And then I also have like, okay, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and I write yes or no if I've checked in with them or not. And I have certain days that I do it. So I'll do it like Wednesday, Friday. During the week, I'll answer any messages that come in, but I will physically go through their form because I have an app that I use. So I'll go through there and check and see how they've done, if they missed anything, if people aren't doing shit, where the fuck are you? Like, where are you? I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. So after thinking about how much time I'm going to put into this, all the videos I had to make, so many different things. I wrote it all out, the Facebook group, stuff like that. I was like, 80 is just, I'm like, that's just not enough. Like, there's no way. Then people want me to charge like my coaches want me to do 500. I'm like, to me, I still felt like I just couldn't do that yet. So I settled for 250. But if you think about that, 250 at 30 or 35 people a month, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And then on top of that, you wind up getting people who keep going, and then you wind up getting people who will extend on and go to the bigger programs.
And I want to touch on that. So the entry level to you into your world and what you wanted to do was this pull-up program, right?
Yeah.
That you decided on from $80 to $250, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of this 30-day period, what was I don't like using this word, but technically it's correct, the upsell of how can I keep them and then further extend to an additional program that I believe that will bring them more value, or what did you decide that next thing was? So
this is all going to change too, by the way, because the program's been doing really well. We're adding so much more stuff, so all the pricing is going to change soon. But what happens is they could do my 90-day program next, which was $2,500, which I've got a lot of people into that. So think about that. So like after now you did all that, now you get to stay with the people who you really like. I love these people. They're awesome. And I got like 6 of those. 6 people. 6 of amazing people in there you can extend it on. Then you get the other people who will extend on for, it's like $150 a month to extend for the pull-up program. I just keep throwing stuff on the app. So it's not as personal, but they're allowed to come on the calls. They get
you said I heard you say this a couple times. You said this is your app or an app that you're using to show this?
So I'm using an app right now called True Coach. I obviously want to develop my app, but it's really expensive. And True Coach, I'm just obsessed. I know the owners, I know the people. It's just really well done.
Is this something that anyone could join?
Yeah. So if you're a coach, I would 100% suggest True Coach. It's just so personal. You can write all your programs out. You can also export them into PDFs after, which I do for my program. So once people leave, they get those.
Is this a private thing that anyone could see? So if, let's say, as an example, I sign on and create my profile and I have all that information, is it private or public?
It's private to them. So they have their own page that I can only see.
Got it.
At the end of the program, once it's over, like the app is off, so they can't go back in it.
Okay.
So but it's only for them, and they also can text message me in there. Basically, there's a text message system. They
Cool.
send me videos, so they'll send me videos. Hey, or if I'm like, hey, can you send me videos of your pull up? And I need to look at your form in the back, and then I'll type in, all right, you got to make sure that you're doing this, this, and this. It's just really, again, really well done. There's a
That
metrics
sounds
tracker.
amazing. That
What's
sounds
that?
absolutely amazing. That sounds
Amazing.
amazing. That sounds
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So they go through their pull-up program, the 90-day program, and is there anything else that you do in between, kind of to keep them involved, or aside from the given, which you've spoken about, the little things which I think are great, like community
Yeah.
building, Instagram TVs that you're doing consistently, these wake-up calls, which I liked, I guess that bar that you had, if you've spoken to them, yes or no, accountability,
Yeah.
all those things matter. But is there anything in the mix that you believe has set you apart from them going to anywhere else?
I think the biggest thing, and they've always said this to me, that it's just how personable I am from the day one. The pull-up program, they have to apply to it. They don't just buy it. They have to apply to it. Once they apply to it, I read every single application. I read 400 of them this week.
Wow.
Lots of them. But I learned so much about each person. I messaged them all back personally, and I sent them all back video messages on Instagram. That's what sets me apart, is the fact that I literally actually, and people will be like, wow, you actually read my application. I'm like, yeah, because I care, and I want to make sure that I help you.
Yeah.
There's also people in the application form that I did not accept. There's people who didn't write enough about, and they didn't look as serious. I wrote back to them, I'm like, you have to be more serious to be in this program. So I think that's what sets me apart from day one, is the fact that I really, again, I care. I'm going to know your name at the end of the program. Like, it's not like you're not a number. Like, it's a personal thing that you're going to get. And I think that's what's lacking a lot. There's a lot of really big name fitness people who are amazing, but like, they don't know who their people are. They don't know their names. They don't know like that their birthday was yesterday, or that they whatever, like, like those are things that I like to do. And you could do really well by doing stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I think we've covered so much. I honestly, I'm like I'm sitting here like, damn, should I do a 10-day fitness program myself? Like this, I feel so empowered right now. But,
I mean, you're big with the photography and videography. I think a great thing would be to do stuff like, how can you do stuff for people at home, like right now, while they're like, I know for me the hardest thing was like, all right, I don't like to find the right lighting in my house. What can you do to like make lighting? I don't know. There's so many things I feel like you could do photography-wise to help people right now, just with your expertise, especially also since everybody's doing video and trying to do photos in their homes or by themselves now. We're all like, we don't have a photographer following us around. It's like we're doing it all on ourselves now.
I'll do a video today, actually. You just kind of sparked an idea. How to find the right lighting in the room.
Yes, I'm telling you, I literally,
Yeah.
and it's so funny. I have to do that for my clients for their before and after pictures. I had a video on their module that literally says, this is how you take a picture in good lighting, because if you take it in bad lighting, you're going to look like shit.
I love that. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that after this. I already kind of thought about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's just so much opportunity right now to help. You just got to like fine tune and be like, where are people's issues right now, and how can you actually genuinely help them? The people who really care right now are the people who are gonna continue this after this whole situation's over. Like half of these people who are online and just doing whatever, they're probably gonna fall off, and the other half are gonna continue to thrive, and people are gonna remember them. They're gonna remember, oh, Angela helped me with this. Angela helped me with that. Roger helped me with the lighting with this. Oh, I remember him. Like, they're gonna remember those things.
Angela, you've been amazing. I'm so happy for you. I think that you're in a place where you're happy and you're serving the people you want to serve. And it sounds like you've done that through trial and error. I think the biggest thing also that I've learned through this interview right now is that you've been so resourceful. It sounds like every person you named was someone that you knew. And it wasn't, and I think I want the people listening to understand that it wasn't you found them through X person. It's like, no, like these were people in your immediate circle who you're like, oh, this person does this very well. Maybe I should bring them on. You brought up Louisa, which is, you met her through grip boxing. Yeah. And that was your past job. And you could have easily eliminated that relationship, but you saw how good she was at what she was doing and how she could provide value to you, and you brought her in. And so I think that's like the biggest thing is like, how can the people listening, how can you be resourceful with the people that you have around you?
Always resourceful, and never leave anywhere in bad terms. I don't give a shit if they've screwed you over, if they've done anything bad to you. You be the bigger person, because those people will be somewhere else, like Louise right now. You know, like everybody's in different spots. They'll remember you. They'll remember, oh, this girl left on a good terms and stuff like that. It's so important, no matter what you're doing, anything in life. You always just be the bigger person, because people remember that, and then you can use the resources later on.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where can everyone find you? What's the best place? What's the best?
Yeah, I mean, you can message me in Angela_Gargano Instagram. Again, I literally do get back to my DMs. It might take me like a day or two, but
Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's Angela-Gargano.com. All my programs are on there. I'm doing a really big revamp right now, so a lot of things are going to be changing on there. But you can definitely go on and check out my freemium. If you want to see what a freemium looks like, feel free to download my guide. You'll literally see a great way. It's brought in probably thousands of people for me. So figure out something like that. And any questions, feel free to ask me. Or also, again, like we were talking about Jess. I mean, Jess is amazing. Talent Hack just launched this thing. I don't know if you're doing it. It's like, what is it called? Like something accelerator? I don't know. But that is, they basically gave that away. So get that with Talent Hack. That's going to teach you all your business stuff on there as well. And then, yeah, reach out to people who are doing what you want to do. If you want to do something that I'm doing, then you should reach out to me, because I'll try and help you and like at least guide you in the right direction.
Cool. So in a way, are you offering, I'm just curious, for services, do you do business coaching with this process?
No, I haven't. I'm sticking to my niche. Otherwise, I'm going to just be exhausted. But I've definitely been asked to do business coaching, because I've lived it. I see it. But no, right now, no business coaching for me. Maybe in the future. But right now, just pull-ups.
Pull-ups and workouts. I love it.
Everyone gets one. You get one.
You've been amazing. I think the greatest thing is you've been so open and spoken about like everything that you do and how you do it. And the foundation of it has been being yourself and creating a community through it, because you're passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the game, right? Like you love what you do, and you'll figure out everything as you go, and you'll be resourceful throughout the process and find the right people that need to be in your circle, and you'll remove those that don't. So stay safe. I'll reach out to you once this ends, but I want to end this Instagram live, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, this was so great. It was so great seeing your face too. I haven't seen you in forever, literally forever.
Time's flying.
All right, guys. Well, I'll see you later. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, see you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.